for another episode of Second Opinion. Today we're going to talk about pitch deck feedback.
It'd be nice if I got just a little bit of positive feedback about my tools.
Feedback is a part of every pitch deck process. No one really talks about it or how to deal with it. So today we're going to give you some frameworks, thoughts, and guidance.
I hate feedback, Mark.
I love it. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
The first thing to know about feedback is that everyone gives it and everyone gets it. You're not unique in the fact that many investors you're talking to are giving you feedback on different slides and different things that you're saying in your pitch deck. If you ask somebody for feedback, they're going to give it to you. They're going to put that critical lens on and, poke holes in various things that you're saying. So when you receive that feedback, you should be doing the same. You should be putting a critical lens on where that feedback is coming from and identify what you feel like you might want to implement and what you feel like you might not. The second truth is, with feedback, you don't have to do anything about it. At the end of the day, we're looking to be confident in what we're saying. And just because somebody provides you feedback doesn't mean you have to implement it.
So while I am in the camp of not listening to feedback and trusting the gut on narrative, it is very reasonable, especially with investors you want to impress, to show them that you're listening and integrate feedback. So here's a solid framework that we use and share with founders to help them work in feedback. Step number one is separating niceties from actual feedback. It is very common to send a deck and receive an email that says something like, "Great deck, please come back to us when the traction story is more fleshed out." Or, "We love what you're building, but the market size or market opportunity isn't big enough for us right now." People will get those comments and think that there's a problem with traction or market size, but really that's just a canned line that investors say to basically everyone.
Thanks, but no thanks. How long was that?
So step two, let's say that there is real feedback, not a nicety, but something actually detailed about your pitch. You need to separate whether or not this is coming from a subjective place, like, "Hey, I think the last 3 slides should get cut because the deck's running too long," or a really objective place that's maybe more unique to you. A lot of times in feedback, investors are just showing their opinion or preferences. One investor will tell you the deck is too long, another investor will tell you the deck is too short, and then you're stuck not knowing what to do. That type of feedback, while it is actual feedback and not a nicety, is pretty subjective. So what we're looking for is actually thoughtful points around your business, around your framing. Oftentimes the best feedback comes in questions about parts of your pitch. And those are the things we want to pay attention to. That leads us to the next thing, which is looking for patterns in feedback. Whenever 2 or 3 or more investors are kind of dancing around the same point, bumping into the same roadblock, that's something you want to consider. That often won't be things as broad as market size. It'll be things specific like pricing model. It'll have to do with usership. It'll have to do with, oftentimes technical parts of your solution. So are you really building this the right way? Let's talk about why.
Humor me with specifics.
That's our favorite type of feedback. Feedback that there's a center of gravity we can find. And that gives us something that we know is maybe a problem or something that we actually do want to address. The final step, assuming you found some problems that you do want to fix, things that are common across the viewership, is just making sure you don't Frankenstein your pitch in the process. Updating headlines or inserting one slide here or there is another great way of preserving the narrative you put a lot of thought into while also addressing feedback. The worst thing that can happen is you end up adding a bunch of slides and you lose the core thought. You lose the string that you put so much time into and that originally was really compelling in an attempt to address so much feedback. So never over-index on feedback. Make sure to trust your gut and kind of follow the narrative that you went in with if you do believe and if it is optimal.
It's important to remember the North Star here is you being confident in the pitch that you're delivering. And find a balance that's going to give you the confidence to pitch this in the most effective way possible. To close out, let us know in the comments the craziest feedback that you've gotten on your pitch deck. Did you implement it? Did you throw it out? Is that investor on your cap table? Or is that investor in the rear view mirror? Let us know. We'd like to hear it.